Mm, 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 mm. You want to walk through it? Are you on mute? Oh. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you talking? Oh, wait, hold on. Say say something. Uh-uh. Okay, say something. Okay, I hear you now. Were you talking?
I was.
I was like, yeah, I'm trying to let her work through it, but I don't want to intervene.
I was like, I'm a little stumped.
Girl, and I, the whole time, I'm like, well, maybe she thinking I ain't gonna say nothing. And the whole time, the whole time, I didn't hear you. What'd you say? I didn't hear nothing.
Okay. I guess on this one, I'm a little stumped.
Okay, let's talk about it then. My favorite.
Yep.
My
Okay.
favorite. So, what are you stumped about? Or you want me to like start from here and bring it to you and you stop?
Yeah.
Okay. So, here we have our inner join. This is the syntax for our inner join. And the way that inner join behaves, quote unquote. When I write my code to capture an inner join, the only data that's going to return back into my output is data that exists in both of those tables. So in our example syntax here, we have our select. We are pulling our name column from our employees table, our department name column from our departments table. We're joining our employees table right here to our departments table right here on an inner join. So with that inner
Okay.
join,
So
yeah,
I'm sorry. So that being said, you got your employees table and your
yeah,
departments table, but
yeah,
you're pulling out the name and the department name
yes,
from. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I'm pulling
So
the
you
name.
already specified.
Yep, I'm pulling the name from my employees table, e dot name. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pulling this column from this table, this column from this table, e table.
Yeah.
I'm pulling my department name, this column from the department table, this table.
So the inner join is basically saying I got my employees table, but I'm inner joining that with my departments table also.
Yes, I need some
Okay.
data from this table. I need some data from that table. And I'm going to join those two tables on my common field, or that's where those data relationships come into play. I want data from here. I need data from here. I need data from here. I need it from both places. But in order for me to get it from both of them places, I have to pull them together. What are you pulling them together on? On the data relationship. How are these two tables related? I can't do it if they're not related. How are these two tables related?
By the department ID.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. Now you see they related by the department ID. Absolutely correct. What data, what records, I should say, does not show up in my output from these tables and why?
It's sales.
Yes. Why? Why though? Why? Explain to me why. You right.
Oh, because they don't have from the two department IDs that number three they don't have in common.
Yes.
Okay.
That data does not exist in both of those tables. Yes. It's sales. You absolutely correct. And the reason being is because I don't have a department ID 3 in my employees table. So if it doesn't exist, it's not going to come up in my output. Yep. You are absolutely correct. And as far as these aliases, technically you can name your alias whatever you want to name your alias. You don't even have to have an alias. You can name it whatever you want to. I've seen people go A, B, C, D. I've seen people say 1, 2, 3. To me, and the way that my brain works, it makes sense to name my aliases like this. It might not make sense to you to name it like that, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. So as long as you know how to apply it, application is one, and secondly, the understanding. Apply it and you fully understand the why behind it. And that's exactly what the why is. It doesn't exist. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
I just had to break it down because I was like, what in the world is this?
Yep.
But okay.
Yep. And the whole time you on mute and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, she thinking. She thinking today, baby. Let me leave her alone. Let me leave her alone. Now, this the left join. Now, if you notice that your syntax is going to essentially remain the same, but what's going to change is your specification on which join, basically. Now, this left join brings back all data from your left table and matching data from your right table. That's that Venn diagram. All them left and just a little bit from the right, as long as it matches, it's gonna come back. Okay. Now, when you looking at this syntax, what is your left table and why? Where do you think is your left table in your code and why?
The employee table.
Yes. Why?
On the left.
Yep. To the left of your joint statement.
Hold up. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, let me play this. So, because your from is essentially trying to make it make sense in my head. So, employees, then, okay. I'm sure employees. Okay, so essentially your employees table is your main table, but
spit it out and I'm gonna tell you like where you going.
Okay, so in my mind right now, I'm thinking like your employees table. Okay, boom, that's the main table. But right, I'm gonna do a left join. Right, with the departments. Right, table. Right. What makes that employees table my left table though? You right, but why did you think that? I don't know. I guess because I felt like then since this was in the from, like, because even without the left join, we just take that out. Essentially, the employees table is the main table. In my mind, I'm thinking that, but then you say left join with the departments. Like, okay, I'm including the departments table, but I got the employees table over here. I don't know. That's my main table. Yeah.
So the reason why it is considered that left table is this literally to the left of my syntax, my join statement.
Mhm.
That's why this employees table is considered my left table. You were right. You're right, but that's why I have my from this table, and then I say left join. I got my syntax, and I left join my employees table on my departments table all day long. When I say left join, all the data from my left table is going to show up in my output. And when I say left table, it's the table to the left of my joins table. And I'm joining those tables on what's the commonality? What's the data relationship?
The department ID.
Yep. Now look at your output. What is not in what record is not included in your output and why?
So let's do uh the number 4, because they don't have that in common, but wait, number 4, no, whoa, number 4 and 3.
We got 3.
Wait, yeah, wait a minute. Number 4.
Yep. And notice that it pulled the name because I'm pulling my name from the employees table. I'm gonna get that. I'm going to get that data from this table, which is my left table, regardless on if it's a match or not. I'm still going to get that data, even if I do not have anything to match it on. I got this record. I got this record from this table, but I don't have anything to populate my department name because in this department table, I don't have a 4. So I'm gonna get this from the employees table all day long because it's my left table, but I'm not gonna get any data from this departments table. I ain't got nothing.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's see. Okay. I'm saying like, okay. So Sam has a department of 1 and John Doe has a department of 1, so they were assigned HR.
Yes.
But Beck has a 4.
Yep.
Had a 4, so that's why it's
Yep.
a null.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Also notice how Jane came on over because she has a department ID too. We're gonna match on this too, and that's IT. So I'm essentially gonna get the name and the department name. I'm gonna get the name regardless because I did a left join on my employees table.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna. I literally don't even have any data to populate for department ID 4. So yep. Any questions on that? Now,
No.
your left join and your inner join, those are going to be your bread and butter. First and foremost, the inner join, because the inner join allows us to see the commonality. It allows us to see data in both of them tables. Okay, which of these, I only need data, where it exists in both of those tables. That inner join will allow us the opportunity to be able to do that. That's the inner join. Left join is going to be your primary join as well. And is due to the fact of it's essentially why the reason why that left join is the most common join is the reason why you knew that employees table was your left table. If that makes sense. It's like, okay, naturally, I'm going to write my table first that I need. Like your brain, that's what was spinning in your brain. Like, I know this is right, but I can't verbalize why this is right. That left join is literally why. It's because when we naturally like write in our natural language, we write left to right. So primarily, when I need that table, naturally I'm gonna put it first. That's what your brain was thinking. It's my primary table. Yep. So
Okay.
that left join and that inner join, that's gonna be it for you. I don't think I've ever used a right join or a full outer join. But I do explain it to you because it's like, you need to know it. But in your day to day, this is it. This gonna be it for you. Right join. Right join is the same. I mean, it's total opposite of left join. It's all your data from your left table. I mean, your right table. I'm sorry. All your data from your right table and common data from your left. So here we have our syntax here. Select E dot name, D dot department name from this employees table, right join, or departments table on. What are you joining these tables on? What are your data relationships?
Department ID.
Mm-hmm. And what data, which table is going to, I'm going to have all my data regardless on if it's a match or not. In this syntax here, what is your primary table?
Department.
Yep. Why?
That's all right.
Yep. Yep. What record is not included in this output and why? What's the reason behind it?
Let me see. Let's see. HRT. The name. You don't have a name for sales.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so with the right join, the right one is the main thing, and I'm going to include everything's going to be included from that table, but I'm going to take the common stuff from the left. I mean,
you right.
Employees table to mix it up. You know, so it's, department's table is like boom. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. That's it.
Yes. Okay. Yep. I'm telling my code I need, when I do a right join, I'm saying, okay, this right table, this is it. I need it. That's my primary table. I want all their data. I don't care nothing about anything else. I want all this data. Now, by the way, if it's a match, bring the data over. But regardless, bring over that data in that right table, regardless. That's exactly what it's saying. Yep. Okay. And you still go right back to these data relationships. What's the data relationship though?
That's the department.
Yep, you right.
Department ID.
Yeah. You're right. This full outer join. Now, in SQL, that full outer join is going to return back all the data. It doesn't care about matches. It doesn't care about anything like that. That is why, realistically, you're not going to use this. But you need to know it because it is a high level, a very, very, very common interview question.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It might show up like, can you tell me the difference in the types of joins? So be able to explain it, even if you have something like this in front of you, so you can visualize what that is. And that full outer join is going to bring back all of your data, regardless on if it's a match or not.
Okay.
That's why it's not common, because ideally, what type of this really doesn't support a lot of analysis, and it's not good practice like for optimization on your database if you pull in all of this data. Like,
so is it essentially like just pulling two tables in one together? Like,
yeah, but the difference between pulling two full tables, whereas that's like more or less called a union. Like a union is like, I'm taking this table and I'm union on top of the exact same table. And I want all this data. That's a union. This join is going to allow you to only pull out specific columns.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what you're talking about is a thing, and I've used it like high level. But what you're referring to is essentially the ability to be able to union tables together, and they call like union or union all, and you essentially say union, table name, And then write your syntax like that. And what that output does look like, and it's essentially take these tables and stack them on top of each other. It's a lot of data. But yeah, this allows you to join two different tables.
Okay.
Yep. Any questions on these? Okay.
No.
Now last week we got into filtering on week 1 conditions where this condition is met and this condition is met. Last week we got on logical operators, which is essentially filtering, but the ability to add multiple filters. You know, where this condition is met and that condition is met, or this condition is met, etc., etc. You still do that over here, very much so. You put your filter right behind your own. So if I want data from both of these tables, but I also want to explicitly filter that data, you build your syntax just like that. Remember how I used the concept last week of when you're writing your code and when you are building your syntax, you build it line by line. You do the same thing in this case. I got my data. Okay, my script works. Cool. Now let me go and start to write my code to filter my data. Let me find my conditions. Let me do this. Let me do that. You still doing the same thing. This is just going to pull you out just a little bit further out though. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So this is this the hardest part of your day to day? No, it's not. So go to your VM and let's go over our data relationships and stuff again. Let me know when you are in your VM.
I'm in, but it looks a little different. Do I need to?
Let me see your screen. Oh, click on that. You see that yellow at the top, little minimize. Oh, that's my mouse. You see that little yellow at the top, the in the yellow bar to minimize.
Here on the end.
Go over right. Yep, click that. There you go. Now pull that on over. Pull your object explorer to the corner. Go to the corner. To the left. Hold on, let me share my screen. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, now just pull it down. And nah, go down like that. Go over. Yeah, now go down. Hold on, let me share my screen. Yep, there you go, there you go, there you go.
Okay.
See how mine look?
Yeah.
Okay, do that. Hold on, I gotta turn on my fan. I am so hot. It's hot. Having a hot flash.
Uh-uh.
I am.
Those are not good. They are not good.
Okay, I'm back. All right. So I'm gonna move. Okay. So you see, okay, so you see my screen. So let's get into these data relationships again. Let's get into this data investigation because this is gonna be your backbone. And it's that skill that's gonna leverage you everywhere. So eat, sleep, breathe, data relationships, because you're gonna need it all the way around. So here we have our server. That's the brain that keeps everything operating. Your server down, you in some mist. So we have our server. We have our databases here. These are all of our different databases. Your database is going to store, common data for the most part. And that's why when we're doing our use cases, I'm gonna tell you the database, but I'm not gonna tell you the table because like you can figure that out with your data investigation. So I tell you the database, but I ain't gonna tell you the table. So these are our databases. Let's go into our healthcare system database for this today's use case.
Okay.
These are our tables. Now we expand it. We see all of our tables here. First things first, Let's get into our data investigation. Let's start looking at our columns. Okay. Here we have our primary key. Our primary key is, do you remember what that was? Unique identifier.
Okay.
Yep. That's a unique identifier. This primary key. This is what makes each of these records in this table unique. Nothing else is like it. So that primary key we see in our appointments table, we got our primary key. We have two foreign keys. Our foreign keys, if something is foreign, is not from there. So those foreign keys are primary keys from somewhere else. Like y'all don't even go here. But in that, it allows for us to be able to establish those data relationships. So we got our foreign key here. Open up this doctor's table. We have our primary key here. Now, at this high level, when you're looking at these two tables, what is the data relationship and why? How? How are these tables related? What's the dependencies?
Oh, um, let's see. If the doctor is the primary key in the doctor, so it's got to be like uh, primary key. So would it be Doctor ID?
Yes.
Doctor.
Okay, so this Dr. ID from which? Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, Doctor ID.
Yeah.
Have that in common.
Yep. That's the data relationship. I have my doctor ID, which is my PK or my primary key from this doctor table. Then I have my doctor ID, which is my foreign key, FK, to this appointments table. So when you're doing your technical assessments, when you're doing your data investigation, those table definitions, that's what establishes those data relationships. Okay, I got my primary key in this table. Then I turn around and say, okay, I got my foreign key in this table. So okay, this is how these tables are related. That'll help leverage you all the way through data, period. Go and look at your medical test table and explain the data relationships from that medical test table.
As it is in common with one of the other tables.
Yep.
It's in common with the appointments table because they have the wait a minute. Yeah, patient ID.
Yep. Yep. What about any of these other tables? What are the data relationships?
Let's see. The patient has the patient ID, and it's also seen in the medical test
Mm-hmm.
and the appointment.
Yep. Yep. What about this prescriptions? What's the data relationships?
Okay. So this one has the patient ID and the doctor ID, which is
Yeah.
in common with the patient's table
Yeah.
database. And hold on, let's see, patient and the medical tests
Yeah.
and the doctors.
Yep.
And the appointments.
Appointments,
Yeah.
appointments, appointments. Yes, very good. Yes. Now, when you're doing your technical assessments, the way you just talk through that with me, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm doing my doing my data investigation. I see that this prescription table is related to the patient table on the patient ID. Okay, I see that this table is literally talk through it just like that because that exposes that exposes your understanding of data relationships. And a huge key is not only can I just write this code, okay, select this and did it from that's a high level part, but that underbelly of like I understand the data architecture, I understand these data relationships. That's leveraging data. Period. So do exactly what you just did to me. Do it just like that, just like that. Um. Okay, you ready for your first use case?
Oh Lord help me. Yeah.
Don't start. Don't even start. I'm gonna write it in the chat, and I'm gonna write the use case in the chat because and let's talk about this first. So another thing, let's get into this first. When we are doing our data investigation, we go and look at our tables. We select our top 1,000 rows, and we build our syntax on this. Don't go trying to write nothing. Build your syntax on what you already have that exists. What already exists? Let me apply this. Okay, let me test it and execute it. It works. Cool. Now let me add this. Okay, this works. Cool. Now let me add this. Start piece by piece. So like we said, Franklin saying, brick by brick. And execute your code, test it. Execute your code, test it. And that's how you layer and that's how you conceptualize like and answer that analysis. Piece by piece. Apply, test, apply, test. So I'm gonna give you your first use case and
Hold on. This is like,
what?
okay, wait a minute. Mine is not coming out like that.
Share your screen. Oh wait, let me see. Okay, let me. Somebody must have. I'm gonna stop this. Okay, let me see. This happened to me one time in my career, and it was something that I had to do. Let me see what you got there. Okay, see if so you have see if you can move it like in a corner, and when those docking guides appear, drop it in there. Pick up
Which one?
pick up the object explorer again. Not that, exit out of it.
Oh,
Press the X.
this.
Okay.
Okay.
Now take your object explorer and do the same thing with it. Like the yellow window. Not that. Make that big, yeah.
Okay.
Now that yep. Now take it to the corner all the way over to the left and see what it does. The other way. Keep going until it like stick over there. Keep going to the other way.
Oh, the other one?
Yeah. Take it and go and see if you can move it even further in the corner. There you go. And see what happens when you drop it. Okay, now this what you did. Now see if you can move it over again.
Yep. I don't know. Maybe I need to. Can I go out and come back in?
Yeah,
Or
try, but yeah, do that and then
let's see.
do doc. Click on doc. Okay, now take it and see if you can push it over to the left. There you go. Now keep going.
Oh my God.
Now, see if you can right click. Okay, if not, so click, see if you exit out of there. And now let's start from click view and then object explorer, F8. Yeah, there you go. Now drag, click and hold the title bar of the object explorer until as you got the window, the docking guides will appear in the center and along the edges of the window. So how yep, now go keep going to the left, keep going as far over as you now keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, I can't go no more.
See what happens when you let go. Okay, now see if you can minimize it. Like make it small like that manually. Go down.
What? Okay, one minute. Hold
Yeah, keep going, keep going. You can't go any further over. There you go. Now drag it again.
on. Okay. Drag it where? Oh, to the
It's
left
yeah,
or?
see if it like locks over there. Take it and drag it again.
Um, it
Go to
keeps.
the make it. See what happens.
Welcome to Tech Brother with Amir. In this video, we are going to learn how to dock, undock, query window, and other.
Um, what in the world is on this line?
Okay. Okay. All right. So I am going to share my screen again.
Okay.
And I was typing the use case. So let me get the use case. Okay, so Dr. First name, Dr. Last name, specialty. Okay, reason, status. Okay. Mm, now make sure. Okay, so your use case, I would need the doctor's first name, last name, specialty, phone, email, appointment date, reason, status of all canceled appointments in the year of 2024. Okay, first things first, data investigation. Which tables houses this data? Which tables houses this data?
The appointments.
And what else?
Okay. Appointments and the doctors.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, okay. Now, let's do okay. Now let's do a I want all the doctor tables. I want all the data from the doctor's table, regardless on if they have set an appointment or not. That's what I want. I want all the doctor information now. Which join would I use and why?
You want all the doctor's information.
Yes, regardless on if they have an appointment, if they schedule an appointment or not. My doctor table is my priority.
Frankly, a left join.
Yes. Yep. Yes, ma'am. You will use the left join. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna have this syntax up for your left join. Focus on building out your syntax to join your tables first. Then test that. Once that executes correctly, then let's go and add your conditions so that you can filter down on what explicit data do you need out of those joins. First things first, data investigation and write your code. Then test it, then build on it. Girl, you are crazy.
Okay. One second.
And I'm here if you want to talk through it. If you want to see, like let's start from square one. You already answered the hard part. Okay, which tables?
Okay,
Select
so let's start. Let's start. Okay, select.
and get your
And
top
then,
1,000. Yeah.
then I have to name
Yes.
my let's see.
Yep. And I have my syntax here. Now another common thing is with these aliases in these columns, you don't have to list out each alias for each column. The only time you have to explicitly label like this is if that column exists in both or in at least more than one table. Because the join you can join multiple tables besides two. But if a column shows up in both tables, you do have to distinguish which table. But if it doesn't exist in both tables, you don't have to label it out. You don't have to put your alias there.
Okay, that's very interesting, especially satisfying appointments in the year 2024. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, let me go on mute. Let me know if you need me because I'm rain cold too.
Okay.
Where's my mouse? Okay. So appointment date reason. Appointment date reason status. Um, people. Okay. Alright. Mm.
Oh.